and welcome, my kings, queens, my pages and knights, to Griffinscope Tarot. That's the home of learning tarot without textbooks. Today we're going to learn a very unique spread, one that absolutely does not require any kind of previous learning about tarot. I want you to just disregard everything that I've said, everything that I've taught you. None of that is required, only a blank canvas to do this unique read. Before we get into the unique read, two things. First of all, I would like to say a very, very big thank you to all the subscribers that have crossed over from through the Griffinscope, and to all the new subscribers. We're still getting to know each other. I would particularly like to say a thank you to Dee Dee and to London Blonde and to Lena and to Peg Florida. You all get me, and this song is for all of you that get me, and it's The Whole of the Moon, and it's by the Waterboys. We all saw Brigadoon. Check the legend out of Brigadoon. It only appears to certain folk every 100 years. It's a little bit of one of those mysteries. Look into the legend, it's brilliant. Anyway, today I just want to go over with you, before we get into this unique read, what makes a good read? What makes a good read? So I was thinking about this and I came up with a few things. If you have your own answers, which I'm sure you will, I'm sure you've all had reads out there, let me know and we can get a nice, clear kind of common denominator. So this is what makes a good read for me. So it's not repeating, obviously, from textbooks, going on my intuition, unlocking that as much as I possibly can. I can tell sometimes when people are coming from textbook meanings, because the reading will come across as a bit stiff and a bit wooden. So I think it's good when, if somebody's coming with an issue or a problem and then the cards have revealed a different perspective or perspectives, in so much as they've shown a path of least resistance. Now, it can still be a good read, even if a client or querent didn't get it. Yeah, biggest fear, right? No ping factors. Well, I feel like you really do just have to trust that process, because if you were to bump into or see that client again in 6 months' time, you can bet your bottom dollar that they will definitely had some ping factors by then. And also, part two to that would be, and I say this with as much due respect as is in me, sometimes the awareness isn't quite in the mental architecture of the client, and therefore the information that you've thrown up is going to need time to process, to fall into place, just like, sediments do. So do let me know for you what else. I think maybe possibly giving a little bit of background so that the querent knows there's a foundation and you've got the right thread, you're on the right track. Sometimes you can get what I call a hairspray reading, whereby it covers absolutely all bases and could possibly apply to anybody. So yeah, that's some of the things that stick out for me. Right, I want to go into this reading then. So I have already had a go at filming this, and I used the wrong cards because they didn't show up well enough on camera, but I'll just give you an idea, that's all. And for this particular read, I'd normally use pip cards that have patterns. If you look at that card, that's almost like looking at one of those magic eye pictures. So you look at a picture and then you can really look at it. You can really look deeply into it. Does it look open? Does it look closed? What would the feeling word be with that? So it's about kind of sensing your way through these kind of, But for today, I'm going to use the Rider-Waite, but we absolutely have to disregard everything or anything that you know about the tarot. So I want you to get your deck and then set the deck out into the suits. A pile for all the wands, a pile for all the cups, a pile for all the swords, pentacles, and then you want to get all all the court cards, kings, queens, knights and pages, they all go into another pile, and then all your major trump cards, all the major arcanas, the life lessons, they go into the next pile. So how you're going to start off, grab the wands pile, and then I want you to put them all out. And like I said, just be a blank canvas, let your mind go where it wants to wander. Do not attach to any previous meanings. Just go for one thing that you're drawn to. And I don't want you to kind of rub your hands over, oh, is it the magnetic pull, the change of energy, the tingles? No, nothing like that. Visual only. That one. Then you're going to gather them up, pop them over to one side so they're nowhere on the table. Do exactly the same with all of the cards. So why I picked that particular one is because it represents energy to me. So it's got to represent what it's significating in the suit. So the cups are all about love, spirituality, imagination, friendships, relationships, this kind of thing, enjoyment of life, contentment. So choose one card from the cups that represents that kind of no, I'm going to go for the ace, I think. So you can be as quick about it as that, or take your time, whatever suits. But I'm trying to go quickly for you because obviously this is YouTube and we can't take tons of time. So these are the swords. So what represents thought to me? It would have to be this one. Again, another ace. Being strong enough to hold that sword up. Okay, next I'm going to go for pentacles, get all those out on the table. Again, I'm just going to be quick for YouTube purposes. What one represents finances to me? Balance, that one. And then get all the court cards out. You're going to do the same. Just go for one that pulls you. There'll be no rhyme or reason to it sometimes, but that's the one. It doesn't have to be significating of your sex either, so still choose a king, because we can all, be kings in particular areas, pages in other areas, this kind of thing. So just a random court card, something that I'm particularly attracted to. I'm going to go for the Queen of Pentacles. Love her earthy energy. And lastly, put all the majors out, all the trumps. So you're going to need a good space, either on the floor or a nice big table, so that you can see all of the cards. Now, the first card that I'm going to ask you to choose is a card that represents an issue or a problem. It can be real or imagined, anything that comes to mind. And then you want to choose a card that represents this issue or problem out in the world, personal, for a friend, anything like that. So, I'm going to go for Wheel of Fortune as the issue, and then for the solution, I'm going to go for Temperance, okay? So now all these cards are right away. You can't see them, any of them that you did not choose. By the way, as you're choosing, sometimes it can be very difficult to sense which card you're drawn to. So what I would do, for instance, is just say, bit at a time, right, I'm not attracted or pulled to that card. That one is a yes, I would say. This one is a fair to middling. And you can gradually kind of whittle it down to a common denominator by, decreasing it. Right, let's get all the cards out. So my first card was the Wands, wasn't it? Now, what this is going to be like doing is putting a storyboard together. And again, do not worry about relating it to yourself at this point. All you're doing is putting a story together. I always start with the wands whenever there's a choosing of all the different suits, because the wands are most alive, and then I go to a feminine energy, the cups. So masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. Yeah, so I chose this as energy because all the fruits and the blooming flowers, the leaves, everything's kind of looking positive and growing and something to celebrate, just the joy of being alive. The people look happy with their body language, this kind of thing. So next I chose the cups in its concentrate, overflowing like a fountain of love. This represents how I feel about love, you know, the Infinity 8 and the peace when one gets when it's in the heart. So moving on to masculine, the Ace of Swords, again another very concentrated energy, but it feels like thought energy here, and communication, you know, having the strength to stand up for what you believe in, even when you know it's gonna confuse people or people won't be on your side. How much do I choose to reveal? How much do I keep to myself? A person would go mad if they absolutely shared everything that was going on in their thoughts, and they'd go mad if they shared nothing at all. There's a balance to these things, isn't there? So next I chose the beautiful grounded energies of the Queen of Cups, and you know, when I look at her with her feet actually touching the ground, I can almost feel the roots, you know, from the feet going further down into the earth. Love that energy. Next, I chose a card that represents a issue or a problem. Don't know why I chose the Wheel of Fortune, but it feels like there's a very up in the airness about this card when I look at just the picture without meanings, and it kind of feels like it's in the clouds. And you know what I'm always saying, I hate anything to do with being away with the fairies. I like nice grounded energies. And next we have the Temperance. So this represented the solution, and you know, the balancing of things. Very, very important to get the balance right in all areas of life. So now I'm going to put this together. I've looked at those meanings individually, why I picked them, what they mean to me, and now I'm going to put them together as a story, yeah? So quite an interesting way of looking at things. We're looking at archetypes being things, objects, possibly people, characters that you can see in every single walk of life, every culture, this kind of thing. So yeah, have a go at that. Don't personalise it to you straight away. You could even record it and then come back to this reading like this evening or something like that, or the next day. Very, very revealing. It will always mean something to you because it's about drawing from your unconscious self, bringing the unknown into the known self. That's what a tarot reading does, brings the unknown into the known. And that's what I'm talking about when I say what makes a good tarot reading, when you've been able to perhaps clarify something that somebody's been struggling with, or perhaps to just give support and wait to what somebody's been thinking to actually out it in words, and for that querent to hear it. It's a different matter. So have a go with this reading. Let me know how you get on. I hope I explained it all right. It's been such a long time since I've done it. But yeah, I must have started that one about 30 years ago, and it's a goodie. It's one that clients did often want a repeat on. Okay, so I think that's all for today. We have our music, we have our reading. I've made you aware of some of the things that make a good reading. Thank you very, very much for being here. You are so, so appreciated. Lots of love. See you on the next.